Hey, friends, it's Michael Kingswood, and this is the deep dive. It's 2 o'clock, and so I'm here to bother you again with more tales of awesome, awesome stuff going on in um, my writing and publishing and pokering and doggying and everything else world that's going on out there. Um, let's see. So we had a training session with the dog trainer just a few minutes ago. Took Puppy Wuppy uh, over there. And today's training session was more for me than for her. It was how to extra tips on how to correct bad behavior, and he demonstrated a few things that had her uh, immediately stopping mischief. And it's like, yeah, it's a good thing. A couple. I've read ahead in his book. Um, as I made these things he calls boomerangs, these you know tin cups filled with pennies and make a lot of noise, and you throw it at a dog, throw them at a dog, it can freak a dog out. And so it's one of those things where it's like for use very sparingly if they're doing very bad, if they're doing bad things, and you've told them a million times, to give them a shock, uh, you know, and he just had these boomerang things on his desk, and you shake them, and she's immediately sat, immediately like, whoop. It's like, yeah, that's cool. I had put into account into use some of the techniques you talked about before earlier when she ate my Bibles, the old be calm, don't immediately yell when you come home, and then you know bring her over to where it is and start going nuts. No, you don't do this. You don't. But and make clear what you're mad at her for. And so now I've done that in the past couple. And it's now if I come home, she's been eating something, she will. I'll greet her, and she'll like hi, and she kind of will look over to where she ate stuff, and then she'll slink away and hide under the bed because she knows she did a bad thing. so, so I was like, all right, well, I guess we gotta that's something to work on. So, it's a start, and she's getting better on that. Um, so that's the sort of stuff we did at training today, which is cool. Um, but that's yeah. So that's the puppy world. In the writing world, I didn't go driving this morning because of last night, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Instead, I got a little bit later start on the day than normal, just because I was catching up for a couple of short sleep nights previous in the week. I got some writing done this morning. I got some other publishing related business work done. So it's been a pretty good day so far on the writing in the writing side of things. I'd like to get a little bit more writing done today before I go driving for the night. My boys got their trail life meeting tonight at 6:30. So after I finish up here, I'll have a couple hours to get a couple more thousand words done, which will be good, and that'll be nice. Uh, and then after trail life meeting, I'll be driving most of the night because I'm on track to meet my driving vig for the week, but got to get her done. Although I feel a little less urgent about this week because of last night. So it was last night after brought daughter home from dance. I cooked dinner for everybody. We had dinner. I didn't cook dinner because I didn't feel like cooking, so I just ordered pizza. And we we had dinner, and then I got everybody squared away. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the tables. I'm gonna go pit poker. So I walked in with $300 and had good times at the tables, except that um what was I going to say? Oh yeah, walked in with $300, walked out with 1150, which was pretty awesome. The pretty awesome. And it went like this. It was one of the most um interesting sessions that I've had in a while, because as soon as I had about a 30-minute wait before I got a place at the table, when I got to the poker room, even though I reserved a place ahead of time, but there's a lot of people playing last night. So I sit down at the table, and first hand, I get Queen Jack, and a Queen comes on the flop, and the guy next to me goes all in. It goes, and I'm like, wow, my first hand, and I got top pair. And this dude who I immediately got the impression this dude was a little more loose and maybe not as poker skilled as some of the other guys at the table. But I'm like, man, it's my first hand. We're gonna go. I'm gonna go all in. I thought pair, a decent kicker. Nothing else on the board is a threat except there's two spades. Just got a flush draw. If he's on a flush draw, he's probably not gonna make it. So I said, screw it. Went all in to match him, and sure enough, he didn't make his flush. And next thing you know, I doubled up, um, doubled up, more than doubled up my initial $300 buy-in on the first hand. And I was like, well, that was great. And the next hand, I looked down and I've got aces. And I kind of overcompensated. Dude bet some other guy on the other side of me bet 15. I raised it too high. I raised it to 75, and everybody folded. It's like, oh, I should have, yeah. And then went some other smaller hands for a while, and made a few pots, lost a few pots. But then it came around again to that dude. The guy I was talking to, the guy who I raised with aces. We were, shooting the breeze. I was like, man, yeah, I didn't do those aces I had earlier right. I raised it too high. I shouldn't have done 75. I should have done more like 50. And he's like, yeah, you probably should have. And I was like, yeah, it is what it is. And lo and behold, right as soon as I say that, deal new hand, what do I have? Aces. And what happens? He bets 15. So I raised to 30. It goes around to him and he raises it to 100. I'm like, all right, fine, all in. He's like, oh, damn it. You've got aces again, don't you? I've got kings. I can't get away from it. So he goes all in too. And so sure enough, his kings against my aces won. And next thing I know, I'm like, wow, I'm now at about $1,000 here. And a little bit later, I get ace 10, and somebody bets 15 or so I call in. So I call, and the flop comes king, queen, jack. I'm like, well, I flopped the nut straight. That's great. And so I bet enough that this one guy ended up having to go, pretty much went in all in to call me. And then another lady was in, and a blank came on the turn. I bet 100, and then she called that and put another 100 in on the river, but she folded. And the dude flipped. The first guy who was all in showed like king, queen or something, but my straight beat him. So I was like, hey, all right, $1,200. Holy cow. I stuck around for a little bit longer, but because I didn't want to be a jerk about it. But everyone's like, but the dude who I hit the queen jack on the first hand with was like, dude, you should go cash out right now. I'm like, yeah, I should. And I hung out for about 10 more minutes and made it an hour and a half at the table and left. So I was $850 in an hour and a half. So I've actually made more at poker this week so far than I have at driving, because I'm about 1,000 for the poker, 850 or so for driving. But between tonight and tomorrow night, we'll make my normal vig for driving. But I was like, man, I'm this poker thing is turning out to be quite fun with the cash. And I don't know that I'll fully pull back on driving. Like I said, I'm going to give it a few weeks, make sure I can actually continue this winning streak, and it's not just me being dumb or being how do you say, excessively lucky, which I don't think I am, because I play pretty tight and I'm learning how to be more aggressive and fearless at the table. But then we'll see. So that was what happened last night, and what's happened today. It's been a kind of a cool day. Not a whole lot else to talk about that, and not a whole lot else to talk about. I'm gonna sign off and get back to writing, then do the trail life thing, and then get to driving. And hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend. I will probably talk to you tomorrow. It's 2:00. 2:00 is the scheduled time. We also have Story Saturday coming out tomorrow. Story Saturday this week being Story 12 from Stories from the Great Challenge, which, as you know, is this awesome, huge collection of stories that I wrote, 52 stories that I wrote over the course of a year. And this is a good one tomorrow, but it's a little longer. So I've been done some pre-recording, but earlier this week for it. But given that it's a longer story, it may be later in the day tomorrow when I get it finished editing and ready to put out there. But regardless, that'll go out. So tomorrow, 2 o'clock streaming, and Story Saturday coming out. No stream on Sunday because it's Sunday, and go from there. So between now and then, make sure you go to mycookingswood.com to the web store to buy all my stuff, and to sign up for the mailing list and become a member of the site. And yeah, if you're not already subscribed to this channel and the podcast and all the other things, do sure you do that and come back tomorrow. I will talk to you then. Until then, don't do anything I wouldn't do.